Okay, so today's lesson is on drawing nets and of 3D objects like we did the other day, but we're also going to calculate the surface area of these nets. Okay, so basically a net again is when we can take a 3D shape, 3D object, and flatten it out. So this is a cube. We can draw 11 different nets for this cube, and all of these nets will fold back into a cube. Okay, so one way I categorize these is I've got my strip of 4 here, and then the top and bottoms. Okay, there's ones that have strips of 3. There's 3 here, 3 here, those 3 here. Uh, there's my strip of 4, and there's one that has a kind of like a staircase. Okay, we don't have more than 2 in a row. Okay, so make sure that you can see how these fold together, which edges will meet, because in 3D we're going to be able to have to see what faces what edges kind of go together. Okay, and we're going to have to be able to do this, translate this from 3D. All right, so net of a soup can, okay, basically a cylinder. We have the side surface, and we have a top, and we have a bottom. Okay, so there's our net for a soup can. And again, the idea that is fairly similar to this one here, where you have a side surface and a top and a bottom. Side surface, top and a bottom. Okay, for a rectangular block, okay, we have to first establish how many faces it has. Okay, so this has 6 faces or 6 surfaces. For this one here, I want you to use the squares, the grid squares, to actually figure out use that for the length and width and height. Okay, so I'm going to draw my surface here. I've got a width of 2 and a length of 8. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's going to be the bottom surface. It has a height of 3. Okay, it's 3 this way. I'm just going to slide that over a little bit. Grab that again. Slide that over a bit. Okay, so that's going to be my end pieces. Okay, I'm going to have my side surface here of 3. I have another side surface here of 3. Okay, and then the top surface here is going to be like that. So that is going to be my 6 surfaces. Just count them up, make sure I have all 6 surfaces. And I also want to know the surface area here. So these are all rectangles, so pretty straightforward. 3 by 8, there's 24 squares there. 2 by 8, 16. Okay, and this is 3 by 2. Okay, so that when we add up the surface area works out to be, what's that going to be? 40, 80, 92 units squares. So it's 92 squares that make up that surface. Okay, taking a look at this, you probably don't have the Unifix cubes, but try to imagine what that looks like with using those blocks. Again, I'm going to do this surface area of this in a net. I want to make sure I have all the surfaces. I'm just going to make sure I count the surfaces. So I'm just going to count around this way for the surfaces. I'm also going to use that to help me draw the net. So I'm going to start at the toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the back, 6 along the bottom. And then the front surface, 7, back surface, 8. So I've got 8 surfaces. I'm just going to put a little number there, 8. When I draw this out, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to lie it on its back along this surface here, this 4 by 1 surface. Okay. I think I'm going to use 2 squares. Can I use 2 squares? Might be a little bit too big, so I'm just going to use a 4 by 1. Okay, so there's my back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to then kind of fold out the L parts of this. Okay, so can you see it's on the back? I kind of folded the sides down, and then I'm going to go around the outside like a ring, like that, so I can keep track of all the surfaces. So the bottom here is going to be 3 units. Okay, so this edge meet up. Okay, I'm going to go for, there's going to be my toe. Okay, here's going to be the top of the foot. If you imagine that being a foot there, so that piece there, I'm just going to highlight that one just so that you can kind of have some references. So top there is going to be that piece there. I'm going to go the other way around for the rest of the surfaces. So here's the top. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I have to have the shin, and that's going to be 3 like that. And that one there, I'm going to, again, that one's maybe a little bit harder to keep track of. So that one's going to be that surface there. Okay, so there it is. There's my surface area. There's my net. I'm going to calculate the surface area. I can just count this up really, but again, the idea is keeping track of all the surfaces, making sure you count. A lot of this is about the counting. The actual calculations are very simple, but the counting is harder because you have to make sure you've got all the surfaces. So I need to have a strategy to account for all these surfaces. Okay, so there's 3 here, 1, 4, 3, 1, 2. That's going to be 6 and 6. Add them all up. 4, 8, 11, 12, 14, 20, 26. So there's 26 squares that make up that surface. Okay, so move it down.